Hey, well, good morning, guys. Got a special treat for you today. Olustee battlefield here in Florida. A little known, unknown fact, even by myself, I've learned a lot through this, is this was one of the largest Civil War battles ever fought, and one of the bloodiest. Back in February 20th, 1864, 10,000 men in total flashed here. And I'm going to explain a little bit about this Civil War history I think you're going to find quite remarkable. So come along and join me on this adventure of the Olustee Civil War battle that occurred here in Florida. As we move along into the state of Florida run attraction, or historical site I should say, this is the Florida National Scenic Trail of Olustee and the trailhead. Between these walls right here was one of the most bloodiest battles ever fought in the Civil War. You know, a lot of people think it's Gettysburg and Pennsylvania and Georgia, and all those states did have a lot to do with the Civil War, but so did Florida. And tactically, what Florida had and what the North was worried about was that here is where cattle and salt were brought in to supply Confederate armies as they battled north towards Gettysburg and Washington, D.C. And the Union Army, they knew that they had to take this place out. They had to stop the cattle run and the salt that was supplying the army of the South, the Confederates. And this is where the battle happened, right here, folks. February 20th, 1864. So as you come in the gates and you walk along, there's a massive pine forest. And this is where they met, here on this battleground. So come along the wall here. Show you around, explain to you that tactically what was going on was, you know, the South was supplying meat and salt to the army, and you know, part of war is taking away people's supplies, and that's how you stop a war. That's what was going on here. So I'll explain more as we go on, with this journey. Let's get through these gates, these hollow gates, where it all occurred. Come with me. Some of the old fence still lines the battlefield area. Now, according to history, the garrison here started off in Jacksonville. And the general was told to stand fast in Jacksonville and not proceed on. What he did, he disobeyed orders and he went all the way to Tallahassee. Turned around, started heading back towards Jacksonville. And that's when he met the Southern Army entrenched here. And this is where the battle that wasn't supposed to happen. They clashed here. The Union Army had 5,500 men. The Confederate Army had 5,000. somewhat evenly yoked in strength, the Union Army was in some really different territory way south. So I'd say the Confederates had the advantage, home field advantage, so to speak. And I think they took advantage of that when they dug in here and the battle ensued. Let me take you over, show you some of these sites here. Overview. The monument here is just beautiful. Very well done. So during the conflict here, February 20th, 1864, Major General Quincy A. Gilmore launched an expedition to Florida to secure the Union enclave, disrupt rebel supply routes, and recruit black soldiers. Brigadier General Truman Seymour and his 5,000 troops moved deep into the state. He met little resistance. Until February 20th, as he approached Brigadier General Joseph Finnegan's 5,000 Confederate entrenched near Olustee. The battle raged for 4 hours, and as Finnegan committed the last of his reserves, General Seymour ordered a withdrawal using fresh brigade to cover the Union retreat. 3 regiments of the U.S. colored troops took part in the battle, including now famous 54th Massachusetts. The battle ended with 2,807 casualties and the retreat of Union troops to Jacksonville until the war's end just 14 months later. Here's the hollow ground where that battle happened. It's really unique to know that one of the greatest battles and one of the bloodiest, along with Gettysburg, was also fought here in Florida over this supply of food and salt that was trying to be stopped. Here's a monument here. Up here was fought on February 20th, 1864, the Battle of the Ocean Pond, under the immediate command of General Alfred Holt, Colquitt, hero of Olustee. This decisive engagement prevented a Sherman-like invasion of Georgia from the south. This is erected in April 20th, 1936 by the United Daughters of the Confederacy. No matter if you're a fan of the North or the South, and we're just neutral here, guys. I'm just trying to film history as it happened. I just live in the South, so there's going to be a little more Southern history here. But it's something we all need to remember is our past and our history. Because if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. This monument is a great reminder of what happens when different sides have different beliefs and come into conflict. It can pit brother against brother, father against son. If we take out anything about this historical site, is a lot of men died for a lot of different ideas. But it is history nonetheless, and we need to document it and know about it and know the truth about it. Both sides were doing their duty that day. And that's what's important. They were fighting for the cause they thought was important. And they both fought for their sides and their generals gallantly. This monument here is placed by the United Daughters of the Confederacy, Florida Division, in memory of Brigadier General Joseph Finnegan, commander of the District of Middle and East Florida. So well did he perform his part that a single victory over the Federals was won in the Battle of Olustee, February 20th, 1864. And Brigadier General Joseph Finnegan did do a good job that day. He warded off what surely would have been a disaster for the South if they would have cut off their meat and salt supply to the Confederate Army. So in retrospect and truth about this battle, it was a very important history of the Civil War and what continued it to go on. I thought it would be important to document this site. Talk a little bit about these two generals here at the Battle of Olustee battlefield. So this is the overlay of the battlefield, which we're going to walk here. It shows where the north and the south were along this trail. Shows about the death and how many did die. That February 20th, 1864. These were the commanders, Confederates, and the Union. It talks about the battle. Let's come along as we travel the trail to where it happened. This is the actual area where the two skirmished. And it was a fight or die situation. Both armies equally yoked. It was either north or south to win or lose. This is the hollow ground which it all transpired in this pine forest. As we walk through here, I can't help but notice how serene, how quiet it is. No cannons firing, no screaming men. Just a solemn stillness in the woods. Listen, so quiet. Very historical, neat place. It's hard to believe all that occurred back in 1864 because it's so beautiful now. At this point, this is where the battle intensified. Around 2 p.m. when Union troops reached a railroad crossing east of Olustee. Here they faced increased resistance from advancing Confederate troops. The 7th Connecticut opened up with heavy fire from their Spencer repeating rifles, catching the 64th Georgia off guard, killing all of their regiment field officers. General Colquitt's reinforcements arrived just in time. Keep the 64th from being cut down, the 7th Connecticut advanced farther than their flanks and soon found themselves in a crossfire. When their ammunition ran low, they withdrew 700 yards to the rear. Here the Union advance was finally halted. I'm kind of in the middle where both sides came together. Out here alone, it's quiet, serene, and beautiful today. But all around, as you can see, it's just nothing but swamp and pine tree forest. Some cut through trails out here. It just goes forever and ever. One of the biggest, prettiest pine tree forests I've ever seen here in Florida is at this battlefield. It's kind of a grim reminder too about war, conflicts. You know, what were the soldiers going through that morning, that day? What they suffered through, and the frights, maybe the last letters that they wrote to their families. It's part of war people don't think about much. They just read history and how it was written down. You know, I really recommend you guys come out and adventure out to these places if you can find these battlefields, these hollow grounds, and get a chance to experience it for yourself. Kind of feel the temperature of the air, smell the trees around you. Really brings history to life. That's what I love about this adventure, is bringing this all to life for you, bringing this to you wherever you may be watching this. It's what's important to me on this channel, so you guys get to adventure with me, and I'm glad I brought you along to see, feel, and touch like I did from wherever you're coming from or watching from. Thank you for being with me as we journey through this together. So there's more to come. Just wanted to show you some more how beautiful it was out here as we venture on through. All right, guys. Here's a placard of cries and cheers written by Winston Stevens, who was with the 2nd Florida Cavalry. And it's pretty descriptive about the battlefield and what he saw. And after seeing what he's seen, he didn't ever want to be in another battle again. This is another part of war that people sometimes forget about when we send these young men and women into battle. The horrors that they see and the memories that will never erase out of their minds. We should be thoughtful of that when we decide to go to battle or have a war. It's what are the young men and women from that conflict going to come back with? What memories and what horrors? As we continue on, guys, I think about that, especially as you feel the heaviness sometimes in this ground. Hopefully we can all come to a point in our lives when we don't need battles anymore. I don't know. We'll see what history brings us from this point on. But there's always the dark side of every battle and the good side of winning and bringing good things to light. I wanted to bring you both perspectives as we journey through this battlefield.
When again seeing his mistake, the general said, "On your 10th company, sir." All the companies, except the 10th, having already faced to the right and left, are marching to get into line as though deploying on the 5th company. And under the successive change of orders, the companies who were trying to deploy into line became badly embarrassed. And being under terrific fire from the artillery and infantry of the enemy, and the wrong orders having been given and obeyed upon the instant, and the maneuver having been partially executed before the correct order reached them, the battalion had become so badly mixed that it could not be reformed. Although those broken masses of troops bravely stood their muskets.
According to Colonel Hawley, somebody must have misunderstood the order, for a portion of the regiment was going wrong. When myself and staff and Colonel Abbott repeated it vigorously, but vainly, all semblance of organization was lost in a few moments, save for about one company, which faced the enemy and opened fire. The remainder constantly drifted back, suffering from the fire which a few moments' decision and energy were not checked, did not suppress. According to the will, the old weapon was given the men from powerful mistake.
The mistake of our commanding officers could not then be remedied. The ground was becoming thickly dotted with the bodies of the fallen. Yet those brave men faced to the front, and what execution was possible under the circumstances. Although the whole left wing was armed with those same old muskets which had been exchanged, some of the mountain troops attached to the command had been completely spoiled for effective use at a time like this. The broken column, which had now lost 1/3 of its entire number, only gave way when a portion of the color brigade was brought up in splendid style and filled the space.
This was put here to the memory of the officers and soldiers of the United States Army who fell in battle of Olustee, February 20th, 1864. It replaced the wooden one that was placed here. It had rotted away. Here's this old cemetery, which is literally right next to the battlefield. And here in this hollow ground lies 155 unknown Confederate soldiers killed in the Battle of Olustee or died in Confederate hospitals, 1864 to 1865. We're here in Lake City, Florida. And these are the unmarked graves of those soldiers that are unknown, but remembered. Rows and rows of them. Here buried forever in history. And in tribute to them, this monument in memory of all the soldiers. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video I brought to you today about the soldiers in the battle, one of the biggest Civil War battles ever fought in Florida. It's been quite an educational time for me too. I've learned things I didn't even know. I'm glad I could bring you along. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit of a history. We're here still at Lake City gravesite where all the unknown soldiers are at. And, you know, just in closing, you know, remember what war does. Remember your history. Get out and adventure. This has been a great adventure. I hope you guys enjoy. It's kind of a somber time here as we close this video. But this is where a lot of soldiers are now resting. And this is the closure of their life due to battle. And this is where we'll be closing the vlog. So I want to thank you for coming along with me. We enjoy you guys coming along. I really am so thankful, all my subscribers and those who pass on my channel to others to subscribe. Channel's growing. I really appreciate you guys. I couldn't do it without you. So until our next adventure of Adventures in Malibu and Dad, you guys, God bless you. Be safe. Get out and adventure, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, guys? Thank you. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.